All right, welcome back to Closing the Circuit, where we are following me on my path to becoming a master electrician. And the first thing I have to mention is sorry for the wait. Sorry for the extended cliffhanger. The last video, I went over the application process and I mentioned that week I would find out if I would be accepted for the master electrician's test or not. That was at the beginning of November. Here we are at the beginning of December. So the people who've been waiting to figure it out, sorry for the suspense, sorry for the cliffhanger. But today, I have the results. Was it accepted? Was it not? I told you I would be good regardless, however it goes. I'm always ready for a challenge. But I actually have those results. And today at the end of the video, I will be revealing the official study materials for the Master Electrician test here in Miami-Dade County. A couple of videos ago, I gave you some of the study materials that I'm using just to get brushed up and get on the right path to get ready for the test. But today I have the official study material, what's used as reference guides for the test. So we'll talk about that at the end of the video. But without further ado, we're going to cut to the video of me making a phone call and figuring out whether I passed or not. So let's cut to the video. My name is Dentrell Felton. I put in application for a master electrician's license. I wanted to see if I was approved or not.
And what category was it? Master Electrician, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
That was pretty quick. Sounds like a Wiz Khalifa beat.
Okay. Yeah, the board approved you on the 7th. So today in the afternoon, you should be getting that the latest or tomorrow. You should be getting the voucher by email. We send that out to the email that you put on the application. Once you get that email, check your junk or your spam because sometimes it goes directly there. Once you get the email, you have 6 months to schedule. You schedule whenever it is that you're ready within those 6 months.
Awesome. So I'm approved. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
All right. Have a nice day. I'm officially approved to take the master electrician's test. I don't have to take the journeyman's license. This is great. This is proof that experience does count. All right. So as you can see from the video, I don't know if I looked excited or not. Sometimes maybe I don't wear my excitement that much, but it was amazing to find out that based on my experience in this trade, next year will be 20 years for me. I got to celebrate 20 years in a game that I will be able to take the master electrician test without being a journeyman electrician. So for the people out there who's probably been in the game and have proof that, they've grinded, they've put in the work all of these years, and for whatever reason, you haven't become a journeyman electrician, but you are ready to step up. There is opportunities for you to go to that next level, especially if business is something that you are interested in. Let's talk about the official references needed to get ready for this test. We talked a little bit about why I had the older version of the book and me trying to get into contracting a little bit early on. Maybe I want to say it's almost 10 years ago. No, not 10 years ago. I would say like 6, 7, 8 years ago. But it's still a good study reference, and you want to use anything you can. This process it's a little bit expensive. You got to invest into yourself, so you want to do it over time. And there's nothing wrong. I've been studying perfectly fine with the NFPA 2014, but there are changes made in the code book to where you want to make sure that maybe there's going to be a specific answer that relates to one of the revised copies. So you want to make sure you have the updated version. Starting with that, the official version of the NFPA 70 for the master electrician's test is the 2020 version. So yes, there is a 2023 version, but for this test, the 2020 is the official version of the NFPA 70 that you will be using. Now, this one was really tricky because I kind of knew that I would need this book, but if you look online, it would tell you that you need the 16th edition. And I called up a supplier
And I told him I need the 16th edition, and he told me to check. Well, maybe make sure it's the right version before you buy. Commit to buying. So I'm glad I waited, because it's actually the 17th edition, and that is the American Electrician's Handbook. So we are going to study out of the American Electrician's Handbook 17th edition. For all you guys who are trying to get a little bit ahead of the game as far as studying, write this list down. Make sure you are getting everything you need from it. If you want to invest in your books over time, this is a good opportunity to do that. Now, with this being an electrical contractor's test, you have to do the business portion of the test as well. So if you're only going for the journeyman, you need to pass the skill part, which are the two books I mentioned, NFPA 70 and the American Electrician's Handbook. However, if you are going for a contractor role, you're going to need to pass the business portion of the test. And for the business portion of the test, you're going to need 2 reference books. One is the Dade County Municipal Code, specifically, which I'm not sure if it's just for electricians or not, but specifically Chapter 10. So the Dade County Municipal Code, Chapter 10. And also you're going to need the Florida NASCLA Contractor's Guide to Business Law and Project Management. So I actually have a copy of the NASCLA. This is the NASCLA Contractor's Guide to Business Law and Project Management. It's the 2nd edition. I've already started reading this. I read it in its entirety. Like I said, I got ahead of the game. I figured out this was one of the books. Read through it just to get an idea of what I would be, facing. If you have any experience, let's say in higher education with general business, or you may be going after some kind of project management certification, you may know some of this already. One suggestion that I can make is, doing some construction management courses. That'll help out a lot. I have construction management certificate from Columbia, which you can get on Coursera, and it's a very good course. It'll teach you a lot of what you need to know, give you a nice brush into what is it like project managing a construction project. That's a good source reading this. And then any business skill or business education you can get, don't skip out on it. Like I said, I'm studying economics, so I'm having a lot of interaction with some of these concepts already, and it's been a major help. So if you are in college, but you are looking to go the trade route, this is an intersection. Business is always important if you plan on being, more than a skilled worker or a technician, and you want to open your own business. Business is key. It doesn't matter how good you are at turning a wrench. Business is key. I think next for me is developing an efficient study plan. I am very interested in a lot of different topics, so it's easy to get distracted. I'm definitely taking the time to sit down and develop a cohesive study plan to cover all the basics and focus on what's needed. You're going to have to invest a lot of time in the NFPA, being able to reference back and forth, understanding what's needed, navigate the book during the test for sure. So that's going to be something that I have, planned weekly, and not even weekly, at this point, probably daily, because I know for sure now. Math, getting stronger math. If you are far removed from school, just some of the calculations, they're not super high level advanced, but you want to be as smooth with math as you can possibly be, because there are going to be some calculations involved. Getting an understanding of electrical theory. This isn't electrical engineering, this isn't physics, but the more you understand how your material works, what are you trying to do, what are you trying to accomplish with a job, when you're checking for voltage, what are you looking for, what is voltage? We know voltage as 120, 240, but what is actually happening with voltage? Do you know the difference between voltage, amperage, current, energy, power, wattage, kilowatts? You can work on these things 10, 20, 30 years and not really understand those concepts. So I suggest for sure that, you get a good grasp of it. And if you haven't seen my study guide, you can go back. Maybe I'll link to the video of where I talked about what I was studying. And that's the main thing. But for me, it's removing distractions and dedicating the time needed. You don't want to overdo it and burn yourself out, because then you won't revisit. You know, you get to a point where you don't do it, you start skipping days, and you fall into that trap. And you don't want to underdo it and be underprepared for the test. So I think it's important of, really opening the book. How many chapters is it? How long does it take you to read the chapter? How long does it take you to digest the information in the chapter? Score yourself at the end of the week. What are you planning to accomplish? Do you want to do, 2 chapters, one from each book, and then do a little self-assessment, or do some practice questions, which there are plenty of NFPA reference questions all through YouTube. I use Electrical Exam Coach. Shout out to that guy. He's doing an amazing job teaching people what they need to know to prepare for the test. I've also gotten some other information on what you can do after studying the test, as far as adding a little bit more licenses or certifications to your name. Maybe we'll talk about that. I have a video planned on what electricians should do with Trump back in office. There are going to be different opportunities from Biden administration, or what would have potentially been the Harris administration, versus the Trump administration. I was preparing myself for renewable projects. Trump doesn't necessarily love renewable projects. He's invested in the oil, but he is invested into some other categories that fall within our trade, and we'll talk about that maybe on the next video. I think that's important. We get ready to go into inauguration with a game plan. So we'll talk about what electricians, low voltage, industrial guys, what should we be preparing ourselves with the new administration coming in. So that's pretty much a wrap. I am super excited, to God be the glory. This has been Closing the Circuit. My name is Dantrell Felton, and I will see you later as we take this journey into becoming a master electrician.